Hey, what's up you guys? This is Warframe Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Quick Draw, our balls are quite staggering when we take a look at the Simulor. Now, the Simulor is truly a one-of-a-kind weapon, combining mechanics from the Quanta, Castanas, and even Vauban. Now, I'm gonna be 100% transparent. As of U16.10, I do have a feeling in my bones that this may be missing a little bit of the suck and blow, and may get patched pretty quickly. However, I definitely see a lot of potential in this one, so I slapped on a couple Forma because, let's face it, a weapon that lets you suck in a near unlimited amount of balls deserves a bit of love. Now, you can pick up the Simulor's blueprints on the second floor of any relay, distributed by Samaris for 75,000 standing. However, while our warriors rejoice, if playing hide-and-seek with synthesis targets isn't quite your thing, you can always pick it up in the market pre-built, along with a weapon slot and a catalyst for 210 plat. Now, its base damage is magnetic, which means that it'll do great against shielding and proto-shielding. However, it will have a little issue against alloy armored units. Aside from that though, it doesn't suffer any other resistances, but doesn't gain any other bonuses either. So as always, be sure to equip the appropriate elemental combo in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. Now, let's begin with this literal cornucopia of mechanics. So the Simulor fires off small gravitational orbs that travel for approximately 12 meters, bouncing off of enemies and terrain alike until they find their stopping point, and will remain there for approximately 8 seconds. Firing off a second orb in the same vicinity will cause the orbs to draw into each other and collide, dealing damage in an area of effect, staggering surrounding enemies, causing the orb to grow and reset its 8-second existence timer. Any additional shots fired in the same vicinity will be pulled into the existing orb and cause subsequent explosions. After 5 orbs have merged, it will cause a vortex that deals damage over time to surrounding enemies. Just note that at the time of the recording, it does not pull in live enemies like Vauban's vortex. It only sucks up balls, as well as random stray matter that's been dropped on the ground, but let's not talk about that. Now, while all these balls are great, you can also use your secondary fire to cause them to explode and shock surrounding enemies. With an electrical proc, of course. So the Simulor potentially does 3 different instances of damage, as well as a guaranteed electrical proc. However, there are a couple things to note. The damage does scale depending on how far enemies are from the explosion point, and even more importantly, the explosion damage also scales with the amount of orbs involved with each collision and detonation, maxing out at 5 orbs. The last thing that I want to note is the fact that these orbs float. I know it sounds kind of weird, but the fact is explosions do have a tendency of targeting weak points, meaning that its projectiles have a large potential to score a good amount of head crits. Now, while I am ranting about how great the mechanics on this thing are, I must say that it definitely lacks in supplemental stats. Both its critical and status chance are pretty low, it has a fairly slow fire rate and a painfully slow reload. On top of that, it only has a clip size of 10 and a max ammo capacity of 100, which is quite low for a weapon considered to be a rifle. But I guess in this case, big balls tend to make the barrel look a little smaller if you catch my drift. Now, speaking of other things I quite enjoy, can we talk? So, for those of you who have known me for a while, after my rundown on the mechanics, I'm pretty sure you probably caught the fact that the Simulor was right up my alley. Which honestly got me to thinking, exactly what do the weapons I love say about me? I mean, there's nothing better than pinning a guy to a wall to get things started, which would explain my fascination with bows. And I've always quite enjoyed blowing a guy away, so there goes the Tonkor and the Penta. I mean, really, all that's left is the Stug and the Atomos. Yes, I still have the energy color set to white, as well as all of the whips. And let's face it, those last ones are all pretty self-explanatory. So it got me wondering if anyone else had these same kind of correlations. I mean, seriously, someone's gotta love giving or getting punctured like the Boltors, or finding and hitting that sweet spot repeatedly like the Somas. How about playing a little rough when you get up close and personal like a shotgun? Or maybe you're into the phage and are into all that kind of kinky shit. Regardless, leave it in the comments below. Unless of course you're into the Torrid, Parasist, or the Mire. You can kindly keep that shit all to yourself. Now, let's get back to the quick draw. So, all in all, I feel like the Simulor is worth it. It's definitely one of the most unique weapons in game, and does add a little spice to the current lineup. It's a great candidate for heavy caliber, meaning that it's got the potential to deal a lot of damage, even if its supplemental stats are a bit disappointing. It also comes with an innate dash and D slot, which of course means that I was only slightly annoyed, as that dash definitely saved me Forma. Another thing to add is the Simulor has one of the coolest reload animations, looks pretty damn sick holstered, and its innate energy color is actually two-tone. So you can look good and blow your balls all at the same time. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. Be sure to check out the previous episode on the Prism of Grakata, as well as the most recent rundown on Excalibur himself. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more thought-provoking weapon sex questions here at A Gay Guy Plays. Well, if I can use it on Exalted Blade, exactly why can't the Bailiff use it himself? It's not like I don't have extra copies.